In this demonstration, I'll act as a data steward and show you how the proposed solution can be configured. In the first part of the demo, I'll show how dynamic anonymization can be achieved. In the second part of the demonstration, I'll show how the static anonymization is done, and then I'll also discuss the governance and automation of the data fabric. Now, the automatic governance in Cloud Pak for Data can be achieved in just 3 simple steps. In the step 1, all the glossary information is imported. This glossary can come from various kinds of business documents that has various items. For example, there could be various kinds of business terms. Business terms are primarily various kinds of business entities that are defined in a document in many organizations. For example, a patient business term would be defined in the healthcare glossary. Similarly, there are other items that are of interest. For example, classification, whether the data is confidential, whether the data is sensitive, or whether the data is private, and so on. Then the data classes basically define the structure of the data, how the data looks like or the format looks like. That's what the data classes define. And reference data is the master data. So that's the first step. In the second step, we actually import the various policies and rules into the platform. The policies are again paper policies or basically written down policies in documents. We can extract these policies from the unstructured documents automatically, but these are not really implemented. For implementation of these policies, we have rules. These rules can implement the policies with the help of some of these glossary items we have defined. For example, a policy could be all identity needs to be masked. Now, the identity, there can be some format for identity that is defined by a data class. So a rule could be, if a particular data class that looks like identity is found, then we can mask that information. So that's the rule. In the third one, or in the third step, what we do is we connect to the different kinds of data sources and ingest the metadata information from the various data sources. These gets combined from various kinds of business terms, and also the various business rules are applied. This combines the physical metadata with the business metadata to form a catalog which also has various kinds of policies that are implemented. For example, there could be a masking policies that can be applied, and as soon as the raw data is ingested, the business glossary as well as the policy rules are applied for us to get a governed catalog. Now this can then be exposed to various kinds of data consumers that we saw in the previous step. Now, the differentiator for our solution is primarily these two aspects, which is the accelerators as well as the automation. The key success factor in implementing any kind of governance is to reduce, if not eliminate, the overhead so that the governance is omnipresent but invisible. The Cloud Pak for Data achieves by making available pre-built industry accelerators of various glossaries, artifacts, and by automating this entire process with the aid of APIs from step 1 to step 3 in a hands-free manner, resulting in the realization of data fabric that we talked about earlier. Now let us go into the demo and look it in detail.